Hello everyone and welcome to my vlog. Today is Q&A day, which I'm very excited for. I got a lot of questions from you guys, so thank you. Please don't mind this clutter back here. We're taking apart our marble table because it's the worst and we're sending it back. So we just moved everything from that table over here. I'm clutter queen, so don't worry, it's usually not that messy. So I got a lot of questions from you guys about the Q&A, so I'm so excited to just tell you a little more about me or just like whatever you want to know. So I'm gonna be choosing the most popular topics to go through for you guys, like the questions that I got the most, and yeah. So here we go, I'll go ahead and start. Okay, so first one, how old are you? I'm 23, just turned 23 in October, and Brandon is 25. Your favorite parts of living in Arizona so far? Definitely the sunshine. It's so freaking nice being able to just look outside every single day and it's blue skies and sunny. It's honestly motivating. Like whenever it's gray, I just want to stay inside and I'm lazy and I do nothing. But when it's blue skies and it's just gorgeous out, it's been so much fun. How long did it take you to be able to use blogging and or selling in Poshmark your job? So, I get this question a lot. I believe I started my blog 2 years before I went full-time with it. So, it's funny because when I started my blog, I didn't even know that you could make an income or anything from it. I just thought it was fun and I was like, oh, I can get free stuff. So, I started it and my friend started it, so I don't know, I just thought it was so fun. It was such a creative outlet for me, and so I really loved that. But anyways, back to the question. So I was able to start making blogging my job about 2 years in. So I started the day that me and Brandon got married, August 4th, 2017. I should know that date. And so I actually don't use any of my blogging money like for myself. I just put it like towards our household. So the money that I make on the side for me, for extra clothes or products that I want to buy, I usually get most of my stuff for free anyways, but the stuff that I want to buy, I use my Poshmark money, and so I usually make on Poshmark about 500 to like 1,000 a month. It kind of depends just how much stuff I get. And it's a lot easier for me because I get a bunch of free stuff and obviously I can't keep it all, so that's why I usually make so much on Poshmark. It's not like I'm just, I don't know. It just kind of works out well for me on Poshmark, so that's nice to just get some extra fun money. I've mostly been spending it all on furniture, so. Okay, next question. How did you promote your blog in the beginning stages? So I feel like lucky for me, I got into blogging and Instagramming when it wasn't very popular. I feel like now it's like you look left and right and everyone's a blogger, and it's, you know, no shame or anything. I'm a blogger, I can't throw shade on other bloggers, but it is just crazy how much blogging blew up, and now I feel like everyone has a blog, which is totally fine. It's just kind of crazy, you know? But I would say for me it was a lot easier because I started my blog when not a lot of people started it. So I remember when I was a really small blogger and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna freaking hustle. You know, I wanna get a lot of followers, I wanna get more engagement, whatever. I reached out to so many brands reached out to me, and I just freaking did so much work for free. And the outcome of doing work for free is that you most likely get exposure from other brands. So when I collabed with random clothing brands around the area, if they reposted my photos, I would get a bunch of followers, and it kind of just like worked out well. I would also collab with other bloggers in the area and kind of work with them like through blog posts, well, whether it's like Follow Friday, you know, stuff like that, or featuring different bloggers on my blog and just kind of that kind of work. Blogging does not come easy, so just remember that you really have to work hard to get your blog off that beginning ground, and you can totally do it. It's just a lot more work than people think. Like, I think I only take one day off and I work, not even to brag or anything, but I work from morning till night. You know, I'm commenting at night, trying to raise engagement. I work from morning to night, Monday through Saturday, and then I try to take Sundays off. Sometimes I don't, but I really try to just get a day of rest in there. Yeah. Okay, has Brandon given any more thought to you guys getting a dog? Yes. Okay, so Brandon actually made a deal with me when we were first married that he would get me a dog because I wanted one so bad. And so now it's kind of on me when I want the dog. I was gonna get it at the beginning of January, and it's just way too crazy moving somewhere new. You don't know anyone, you're just trying to get settled and explore. So I decided that I wanted to wait a few months until we felt more settled here, and then I'm gonna get a little dog. So I'm so excited, it's gonna be my best friend. So I'm for sure gonna get the dog before Brandon goes to flight school. So he's studying for flight school right now, but he's not actually flying right now, if that makes sense. So he starts in March. So I will get the dog before then. Kind of on the topic of dog, family, but not. When are you two planning on starting a family? Oh my goodness. I'm pregnant, no, just kidding, I'm not. That's so bad. So, obviously, we don't know, you know, anything can happen, but we are planning on having a family when I'm probably like 26 or so. We just want a few more years to get settled. Not that I don't want children, we both want 3. So just watch us have like twins at 3 or something, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, we're planning on doing that when I'm 26, and I want to be done when I'm 32, so if that makes sense. I don't know. Obviously, things never go as you plan, but that's kind of what we're aiming for. As a fashion blogger, how do you budget your shopping and spending? For me, I get almost all of my stuff for free, which is so nice. Some of the nicer stuff I don't get for free. I'll buy with my own money, and I just use my Poshmark money. So all of my blogger money goes into our household fund. I don't want to take any of it. I do take a chunk of my blogging money and just reinvesting it back into my business to grow it. But most of my blogging money just goes to our little household fund. So I budget my shopping by just using all of my Poshmark money. So there you go. Okay, someone asked, how do you stay so positive? I need specifics, please. Well, you asked for it here, I'll tell you. You guys, literally, I'm not even trying to be that weird Christian, but it's Jesus, and I am a Christian if you don't know that. Jesus has changed my life, and he's my savior. I love him so much. He saved me from death and died on the cross for everyone. So if you accept him, have a relationship with him, love him, you're saved too. Best news I could have ever received. So that's why I'm positive all the time. I mean, why be upset when you don't have to be scared of death or dying or have fears or whatever. So to be honest, that's why I'm so positive all the time, because why would I need to be sad? Like, I just have the best news ever. So it sounds so cheesy, but it's honestly so real. I mean, I would be such a crab if I didn't have Jesus. Like, for real, I'd be such a mess. So anyways, that's why. How did you and Brandon go about dating? I think me and Brandon talked about this a little bit in another vlog, but we started dating when I went to church home in Seattle, and he went there too. It's a church in Seattle. And he actually DM'd me and messaged me a coffee shop because I was going to Portland and I wanted a cool coffee shop. So he Yelped a coffee shop and sent it to me just so that he could DM me and talk to me. So ever since that, we kept talking, and he asked me out for a date. And what I really appreciated just about the whole thing was that Brandon was so straight up with his intentions. He asked me out, and then after a week decided if he wanted to keep pursuing me or not, and then decided, okay, I want to keep dating you, we're gonna do long distance. That's how we started dating. I love Brandon that he just didn't mess with my heart or anything. He knew what he wanted, and he wasn't a boy, he was a man. So let that encourage all of you girls looking for a guy out there. Don't let some boys just play around with your heart. They're not worth it. So how do you stay so true to your brand and yourself? I think that can be really hard for me because I get swayed by other people's opinions, and I look at other people's blogs and I'm like, oh, I like that one way better. But I think it's just important to come back to what you love to see and the content that you love to create. And I think the hardest thing too is actually being who you are on social media. It's so easy to be someone else, but there's only one you. So yeah, I think every now and then I just have to go back to myself and think, okay, what content do I love to create? What's my favorite? You know, what aesthetic is my favorite? What clothing brands are my favorite? And just staying really true to what that is. And yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. Okay, next. Are you guys planning on moving back to Washington after Brandon is done with flight school? We don't know yet. So we have 9 months for sure here, and then we can kind of decide where Brandon wants to be a flight instructor at. So we could choose anywhere. There's only limited spots in Seattle, and there's most likely always spots here in Arizona. So I kind of want to stay. I love it here so much, and I feel like we found such a great church already. I mean, obviously you never know and things can change, and I already miss my family a bunch, so I feel like that could be a big factor of us moving back. But right now I think that we'll stay. I don't know if Brandon would say the same things, but that's kind of what I'm wanting, so yeah. LOL, did you go to college and what did you major in? Yes, I went to Northwest University in Kirkland. I actually loved it, and not a lot of people like it, but I literally loved it. I had the best roommate, Brittany Pendle, I love you. I just had a really great experience there. I was only there for a year, and I decided to take a break. And then during that break, I went and worked for my dad's real estate company, and then I went down to Portland to nanny for my sister, and I just didn't end up going back. So this is so confusing. But when I went down to nanny for my sister, I really started working on my blog because I was alone a lot, and it was just kind of a creative outlet. So when I was in Portland, my blog really started to grow, and after I came back from Portland, that's when I pretty much went full-time on my blog. So if that makes sense, I didn't end up going back to college because the whole blogging thing. And I kind of had real estate as a backup too, so I really don't like school. Okay, next question. How did you get into being a blogger, and do you honestly like it? I get this question a lot, like, do you honestly like being a blogger? I freaking love it. It's like my dream job, and I just feel so blessed that Jesus chose me to do this job, and it's definitely not something I want to take lightly. I want people to come to my page, and I want them to feel better leaving than they did coming into my page, if that makes sense. So I really look at it as a big responsibility to you guys, and I want to make sure that I'm bringing you guys positivity and not negativity and all that good stuff. Anyways, I love it. I would be so sad if it ever didn't work out in the future. That's okay if it doesn't work out, but yes, I absolutely love it. It's 10 billion times more work than people think, which bothers me at times because I feel like people think I don't do anything all day long, and I feel like I'm always so busy. But whatever, with any job, there's always a lot of work. So, but yes, I love it, it's great. Okay, someone asked, in your Insta pics, do you purchase the clothes from the online shops, or do they send them for free? So it kind of depends. Most of my outfits are all free, which is super nice, and most of the time I get paid to post a lot of them. So that is very nice, but there is some things, the more expensive things I tend to buy myself, or like the more brand namey, popular brand name stuff I tend to buy myself. But yeah, it just kind of depends. Let's see, do you ever get tired of your job? Yes, always. I get really burnt out from social media. I love being on social media for a job, but I wouldn't say I would nearly be on Instagram as much if it wasn't for my job. And it can definitely get draining looking at everyone else all day long and everyone else's perfect life that they put out there. So yeah, I do get tired of it in that way, but that's, I think, the only way I get tired of it. Someone asked, if it's not your real passion, why do you blog? It is my real passion, actually. I can't think of anything else I would rather do. Honestly, I love it so much. Curious what a blogger makes or how you are paid. So everyone has that question. So bloggers are paid through sponsored content. So I always tell people I'm like a billboard. Brands pay me to put their item on my page because I have all the follower exposure. So usually when I put ad or sponsored, that means that I'm getting paid. Or if I put partner, that means I'm getting paid. Bloggers also get paid from rewards, or not rewards, sorry, from Like to Know It. So we get commission when you guys swipe up and buy the item, or just anytime you buy the item with our link. That's why it's so helpful when you guys buy my links, that thank you. And then it kind of depends for each blogger how much they make. So it depends usually on your follower count, because it's kind of confusing. But however many followers you have, you can charge brands more the more followers you have, if that makes sense. So I used to make like $3 grand a month, but now I'm making like $5 or $6 grand a month, and it just goes up the more your followers grow. So yes, does that make sense? You look at bloggers like Hello Fashion Blog and all those big ones, and you're kind of like, how much money do you make? It's kind of crazy. But anyways, okay, next question. So far, how have you handled being so far from home? I feel like I've honestly been handling it really well. When I moved to Portland, it was the hardest thing of my life, but I feel like I learned a bunch from that experience. And moving here has just been so amazing. Not only am I with my husband, but we just get to explore this amazing new city. And I would just say, if someone asked for advice to moving places, I would say dive in and make community fast, because it can get lonely really quick. But I would say I miss my family a lot, which I already talked about, and I miss my friends. And that's about it. I am very introverted, so I don't mind being alone a lot. I get my energy from being at home, which is great that I work from home. So yeah, it hasn't been that hard for me. I feel like it's probably been more hard for Brandon because he's such an extrovert and he loves like hanging out with people all the time, and I necessarily don't. So yes. Okay, and I'll answer like 2 more questions. I know you closed your store, but what are the pros and cons of having an online store? I would say the pros and cons are, the pros is that it's obviously super fun and it's cool being able to design a whole store that you love and you feel like you just poured your hard work out into, and just choosing every single item that goes into your store too is so much fun. I would say the cons, the biggest con, money. It's a lot of hard work. It's very up and down, and so if you're not stable like me, you can get very emotional. But yeah, I would say that's mostly the pros and cons. And last question, favorite store? Okay, let's see. Nordstrom, obviously, they just have everything. I love Alo Yoga, I love Revolve. Their stuff's expensive, but they have like the best jeans ever, so that's where I get all my more expensive stuff. And I love Lulu's, I love Toby, Shop Toby. I really love Sabo Skirt. They have the best jewelry and cute stuff. They're kind of expensive too, but really cute. Yeah, that's about all I can think of right now. Don't ask me about furniture stores. Yeah, just kidding. Okay, that is it for the Q&A. Thank you all for asking all the questions, and I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. I will do another one soon and answer more questions, I'm sure. So, sorry if I didn't get to your question, but I hope that generally helped, or you just liked it. Okay, bye you guys.